Hi, please, Liliesha here. Previously on the curtain, the bed sheets, however you guys called it. I brought it back because it's mine, okay? Ni yangu. So I will not be able to attend the recording for the part 2 of Gen Zs. And it was very paramount for me to come and tell you a few things based on our last episode. Number 1, everyone came and said, you guys should be sitting down talking about things that have more importance. There's floods. When we were recording that podcast and by the time it was being aired, floods were not there. So, shh, okay? Number 2, you said we talk about other important things. Please, I even said please sit down. If you don't have bundles, holla at me. And check our podcast. We've talked about femicide. We've had a whole psychologist on this channel just to be able to talk about like mental health, especially with men. Like we've talked about so many important things. But we felt the need to talk about Gen Z because Siatiamu exists. You guys are here. But me, I'm not here to fight. But then let me tell you, I don't understand why there's a fight between Gen Z and millennials. Mimi, I was not here to fight. I gave an opinion. And again, I say, I don't think I mixed my words then and I'm not going to mix them again. I still feel like the clothes you're wearing are big and they make you look old because those clothes, I can identify them with my parents. So of course, me nitasema unakaa mzee. Your sita change, by the way. And I'm not telling you to change your outfits, by the way, because this curtain here, I'll wear it again. So we are together. That's point number what? All right. Very sensitive. Okay, the other thing I wanted to say is, if you actually listened to the whole podcast or even the whole statement I made, I don't know why you just picked that one part, guys. Anyway, but I'm glad, other than floods, we had something else to talk about, okay? Hi, the other thing is, I really need to put it out here. If you follow me on Instagram, if you followed me throughout my career in the media industry for around 6+ years, I have been big, I have been fat, as you've called me, with my double chin, my fat neck. I have been like this. So calling me fat ever since I've been in high school, in primary. Imagine nimetukana kutoka nizaliwe. Wewe ndo utakuja kuni affect. And it's interesting because you don't want that to happen to you, but you're very willing and ready to come and call someone out based on their body. Come on, guys. Baby girl. Baby, mbona mlikuwa mnajam? Why? So, I mean, it's not, again, this is all just to respond to a lot of things, but in a nutshell, just to say, it was not war, first of all. And me coming and saying my opinion is given or taken. If you don't like it, that's fine. I also don't like some of the things that other people say. It's the world the way it lives. But the most important thing I need to put out here is we do talk about other things. And the other thing is, instead of just coming and cutting that one short clip, not even a clip, it was a section, there's so much more to that episode that we talked about. And I wish you listen. Because if anything, in that whole panel, I defended Gen Z because I feel and I still believe your brains powerful. And I've always said if I got a chance to work with Gen Z, I'd actually really like it. But I've not yet worked with Gen Z. So, my girls, my boys, Mimi, sina ubaya. I had no bad, ill blood or anything. It was just an opinion. If it offended you, well, I don't know. I'm not telling you to change your outfit because, again, I've said, you see this curtain? Na sijui ni ya nani. Kama nilichukua curtain yako na bedsheet yako, please come for it. Yeah. But that's just what I wanted to say. And yeah, enjoy the rest of this episode. I can't wait to hear what these other guys have to say about the Gen Zers. And yeah, because this time at least we have a Gen Z in studio. So, bye.
Karibuni guys, it's the best podcast in Kenya. It's a base podcast where we bring different viewpoints and talk about them, right? We'll go around this is a panel, the seats. Like everyone will just tell us their name, introduce yourselves and tell us something interesting about you. We'll start with you.
Okay, Emmanuel Sylvester. Instagram I go by Silimanu. Something interesting about me, I love to think. I love just to think.
Cool.
My name is Rebecca, but famously known as Becca. That is what my friends call me.
Please try and talk louder.
Okay. One fun fact about me is I love reading and I love learning new things. They make me feel just the rush. I can't explain.
Cool. You already know the light-skinned brother. Our our co-host considers him handsome, but she's not here today.
But she'll actually have a segment in. She was very sad she could not make it for this one.
Yeah, very, very upset. But yeah.
So we'll...
No, introduce yourself. I cut you off.
Sir. It's Zola. Today I have a fresh coat. That's the interesting thing about me.
You guys know me as Chim, or famously, I saw on TikTok, guys are more familiar with my teeth. They're jacked. I have jacked up teeth. We were colonized by the British. That's a vestige of colonialism. Interesting thing. I'm back from holiday. That's it. Like, I've had a good time, and I'm ready to go. So, Zola, take over.
Sid, put that thing on me. We had a conversation last.
No deal.
So we had an interesting conversation about Gen Z and has really blown up online, and I think we have been unfairly criticized.
No, you guys were. Guys loved me.
No, I'm talking about the base podcast in general. We have been unfairly criticized and for our wonderful opinions. So we're here to have a debate with our friend. Actually, not say they are both Gen Z.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Guys were complaining that we didn't have Gen Z on the panel.
Yes, sisi ni masenior, sisi ni wazee.
Senior citizens.
Yes.
Giving senior.
Yes, we're giving senior. Thank you. So we have them here today, and we're here to say, as in, what was your beef exactly?
Hey, but what's your beef with what we said? We said what we said.
Yeah.
What's your beef?
Okay, so technically, we just don't understand why millennials in particular are out to get Gen Zs. Like, we're just down here chilling, not in a story mob. Like, what's the problem, guys? Like, why attack us left, right, and center?
Man, what do you have to say?
Okay, from my opinion, it was an interesting show, an interesting topics. We just here to maybe clarify facts from fictions and just try and understand what you guys had to say.
Sana leo mfungue roho juu you guys umeongea reckless on TikTok. Leo mfungue roho.
But mkuwe na points zenye inafanya hata sisi tunajifikiria mara mbili. Seti mnatuambia tu vitu zenye.
I like that. You seem like you're ready to learn. So welcome to my feet. Sit at my feet and you learn something.
In fact, the question is, did you guys watch a whole episode? Because it was there were snippets from close to an hour of a whole episode. Did you watch the whole thing?
True. Like, sasa, unajua that is the crazy thing about podcasts or like snippets. Exactly. So see, parts ni hata mimi niliona at first. In fact, if you literally watch the whole snippet, there was nothing that negative.
Thank you.
So guys were just triggered.
Yeah.
Feelings were hurt.
We were just bored on the internet and we saw, these are some guys you can take care of. Say, these are some guys you can shoot our arrows at.
In fact, I have to ask, what was the main beef from the snippets? Because Manu is on, I think, who watched. You have seen the snippets. Is there something from the snippets that caught you and you're like, this I disagree with?
The fact that you generally criticized Gen Z's fashion trend and you literally said Gen Z look older than their age. So I wasn't like, okay, me personally, I wouldn't care that much because I'm not
Unakaa mzee. A lot of the mamas were talking kama Tesoti anakaa mzee. Tesoti anakaa 45. Kama unakaa mzee wewe ni mzee. Ni nini?
But thing is,
it's like me getting upset because you're saying my teeth are bad. Zini mbaya. Zina teeth are bad.
Ama someone is short.
Yeah.
But thing is, if like I don't really understand hiyo ni kitu ya point out considering the fact that ni staff mtu hazi change.
I was born with these teeth. You guys are not pulling punches.
Yes. But it's not like, okay, I can see it, you know it, but I don't have to bring it up.
Lakini, first of all, subscribe guys. Subscribe. That's the first thing. Subscribe. Secondly, cheki. We are visual creatures. What's the first thing I see? Nikiangalia mtu kati soti. Uzee. Am I wrong for saying unakaa mzee?
And our fashion.
Like, acha nikwambie, like, this is a society. There are rules and regulations to protect me from you and you from me.
So you want to police thought?
Yeah, no. No. That's not the point. You are allowed to think whatever it is you're thinking. But like, do you have to let me know? No. You don't.
But it raises the question, does it only apply to when you are criticizing people, but when it's time to be criticized in a criticism?
Good question. So see, you in a
Because-
cut both ways. Ways. Like na feeling kama if it's something you cannot change, and if it's something that does not affect like the general population. For example, if it's my hair color, my skin color, like why do you have to come and tell me that I am too dark? Or like I am too short, or like I'm too tall to make why are you pointing it out to me?
Unajua, using your logic, basi there shouldn't be anything wrong.
Yeah.
Mtu unakaa mzee, because you can control that.
Kukaa mzee.
Kunywa maji. Let your skin glow. Kunywa maji. Piga tizi.
Let's even take it further. That example of Uze, maybe the fashion thing I can see, because trends change, style changes. But I think for Uze, let me tell you why I disagree with that entirely. It's not just me who has seen it, not him who has seen it. Many millennials have seen it. As in, when we were your
Not
age,
just millennials, hata wote soti venye alikuwa anaropokwa. By the way, we invited her on the podcast, akalenga. So fair game. Hata wote soti venye alikuwa anaropokwa. Our own commenters walikuwa wanamwambia, "Ai, pia ni Gen Z."
and actually go and compare the way we used to when we were in our 20s and millennials right now. I don't know. Guys
Hata
are
sasa
eating.
Zola looks younger than some of the millennials I was seeing talking. The
I'm telling
men,
you- I'm telling you,
emotional men.
I have interns who I supervise, and I'm not gonna say why I do that. And you ask the age, and you're told, and you're like, I did not think that.
Hii maisha yako umeona mashida,
As
umeona
in,
tabu.
there's something going on among Gen Z. Maybe it's the food they're eating. Maybe it's spending a lot of time on social
It's
media.
feminism and drugs.
I'm not sure. But that thing,
Kama
honestly speaking,
lifestyle.
and even here's the thing,
Ndio.
people are taking it
Lifestyle.
badly.
Yeah.
We're not doing it as criticism in terms of we hate you. It was a concern.
A concern.
You guys are looking much older than you are actually supposed to look.
Kwanza naje sasa guys? Like what do you mean? Like first also
Zola is a bachelor, hataki kupata dem ako 23, dem anakaa ako 32. How now?
Kwanza even, I was talking to some guys, some Gen Z guys was telling me these women are drinking Kwanza from Gen Z.
See, what did I say? Feminism na drugs.
And you know, drinking does to your body when you're in your 30s. Especially if you're a chick and you have issues with your skin. You look like you're 40 when you're 30.
Drinking ages you. That's a
But
fact.
even for men, it ages them. Not as bad as women, but
Mother
it does.
Nature is a sexist, so she punishes women more.
Yes.
Women's blessings are front loaded. When you're born with value, and as a woman, your job is to maintain your value. How do you do that? Maintain your youth. Unaona? Men are born without value. We have to create our value. Sawa. Hata ngombe kweli, the way society treats you is not the way they treat Manu. Manu pigo huku nje na dunia.
You love people for a drink in the club.
Hata to make it easier, the way that a girl can say, I cannot date a broke guy.
Yeah.
How many men out here wanasemanga vitu guys, and then the ladies are like,
in a
And
society
all the
that-
guy will say
in a
is,
society
Mr.
that
Kim,
you're
no.
created. But like, unajua, I'm not pro crazy standards, because my view on relationship is always very subtle. You guys are overthinking this thing, and it is not that deep. Just lower your standards, like look for the most compatible partner you can go with and try and work things out. When you start imposing these crazy things, you overfixate on youth, you overfixate on size, you overfixate on finances. These things are temporary and they come and they go.
That's just the way the world is, by the way.
Yeah.
But
No, that is how we have programmed ourselves to become.
It's
You
not
can
programming.
unlearn.
It's not programming, because if you go to China, what are the men concerned with? Youthful beauty. When you go to India, what are the women concerned with? Does he have money? Take care of me. When you go to the Philippines, what are the women concerned with? Does he have money? Is he tall? When you go to Japan, what are the men concerned with? Beautiful, youthful
Actually, I
beauty.
think she has hit on something that is really good. She's, in essence, Gen Z are trying to append traditions or the way people used to think.
Bro, they're not snowflakes. Every generation that has come has tried to.
That's what I'm
append
saying.
tradition.
They think that they know better than the people who have come before them. And civilization, what you believe,
But we
is over
actually
6,000 years.
We actually do.
I'll argue this way. I've ever heard someone say somewhere, for even an old drunkard, he might be wise at an old age. He might have experience at an old age. So there's that. There's that. We need to agree that millennials have some experience on life than there's things that we haven't handled yet.
I agree. But my point is, your experience in like 100 years will never be the same as my experience. My sister's experience will never be the same as my experience. And this is something I try to tell everybody I know. The truth is, nobody has this shit figured out. No one has it figured out. The fact that we're trying to lay rules and regulations for people to fit in a certain box, I feel is really diabolical. Because if for example, I have lived in a poor environment, I have been raped, and somebody has lived in a poor environment and hasn't been raped, and we
Use
are
grape for YouTube. Use grape.
Oh, grape, sorry. These circumstances are very different. My experience is very different from other people, regardless of we are all different. When we cannot be equal, we are not the same. So is our experience.
Let me tackle that. By and large, experiences are very similar, which is why we have a study like statistics.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
However, that does not discount what you're describing is anecdotal experience. It's your personal lived experience. An example that you've given is someone in the slum, for example, has been raped. Another in the slum, in the same slum, Madari. Hiyo haijamfanyikia. But you have to also ask yourself, ni nini, with all of our personal experiences, what is it which path is it that one took that led them down this reality that the other did not take? Because the truth of the matter is, such things do matter. And the beautiful thing about the Base podcast, subscribe guys, best podcast, subscribe guys, is we are having conversations that the Overton window does not want us. Like, we are breaking the Overton window. The Overton window is basically what is acceptable to discuss in society. Right? So when we talk about something like that, I'm not discounting your experience. You could tell me, for example, there's a guy who is maybe 5'8" somewhere, who has a terrible time with the ladies. I'd say, well, I'm 5'8", I do not have that struggle. I'm not negating his experience. I'm just saying we have the same reality. If we look at statistics, when you go, even just online, on the dating apps, what do women say they want? 6 foot, with 6-pack abs, with a 6-figure salary, with 6 inches in the pants, right? So there is always going to be commonality.
Yeah.
But I have a question. That is a very interesting topic you brought up. Regardless of these similarities and all these standards, could there be something that could have triggered or pushed women to think in this particular direction? Or, like, let me say, there's this culture, like, let me talk about my friend group or my circle, because that is what I'm familiar with. They will say things they don't mean. And they would say things they don't mean. Yes.
Just guys, so for you guys, words are cheap.
Basically, what she's trying to say is like when a guy will go that I can't sing for a lady, and then
okay.
When you go at home, it's like
I get you.
And like I had this particular line of thought with some scientist alikuwa anaongea, and this particular scientist was saying that is also the problem with statistics, because you see, they would take a study, but people lie.
Very true.
People lie.
Yes.
And people are and society is guided by shame.
Very true as well. Yes.
Yeah. So like how are we supposed to be sure this is what is actually going on, or this is the way society has made it look like, this is what mainstream media has made it look like, so we're going to go with the flow, we're going to go with it.
So to answer you, are you familiar with the saying as above so below?
Not really.
So what that saying is usually used to explain is, like, if you see it in animals, if you see it in man, you'll probably see a similar behavior pattern in animals. Okay. If you see it in this case, developed societies, you will see it in developing societies as well. Third world shitholes like Kenya. And the truth of the matter is, when you take statistics, what you've said is a very valid criticism of statistics. The fact that it's self-reported, and sometimes people will be dishonest in self-reporting. However, there are studies that show us, human beings, especially blind studies that show us, when you give people full anonymity, we tend to behave a certain way, and that forms patterns that can be studied and can be used, like, those patterns can be used to almost tell the future. Voting patterns, right? Socioeconomic patterns like dating, right? So, which is why I gave the example of, you take a blind test in Sweden. Their realities have it such that it's one of the wealthiest countries in the world, right? They have certain pressures we don't have. We have pressures that they long forgot, and even their grandfathers didn't necessarily experience them, right? But all in all, there will be commonalities, and the commonalities will far outweigh the smaller idiosyncrasies that you see. For example, when you tell me about, like, your friends, where you say they'll say things that they don't mean, perhaps to look cool, that's peer pressure. That's not unaccounted for. We know this. We all know when you're younger. Zola, didn't you experience peer pressure when you're younger?
Everyone does.
I did, right?
Everyone does.
When I was your age,
Actually,
I thought I knew better than the guys.
Gen Z wearing those overweight ngos. That's peer pressure.
Like we've seen that before. It's not necessarily peer pressure, but we've seen it before.
Oversized.
Life is a cycle. We rocked the same fashion, the baggy fashion, when I was in Form 4. It's not cool. It's not groundbreaking or earth shattering. What you guys are basically doing is old school hip hop fashion, the crank fashion, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason why I can say old school crank fashion because we did the same
But
things.
it's okay if we do it. Like, if
I
it's
have no problem with that. I have no problem.
Okay.
He does.
No,
I
actually,
don't.
listen.
No, he
I also
doesn't.
said, actually, I said the old thing is on that confuses me. I think for fashion, fashion is always changing.
Yeah.
I may not like it, but I understand it. The thing of being old, I don't get.
So, your friends self-reporting that, like the example you said, a guy will say no simping and then he simps. We all know this because at this point, I can't even tell you the thought pattern behind it. At this point, you're a young guy, you don't have the money. What do you have? Honestly, what do you have? All you have to offer is emotions and beer. When I step in the room, I am not going to offer emotions.
Yeah.
Even that beer is not going to be as strong as a young brother's will because that young brother has nothing to do all day. The only thing he can offer you is beer. So from morning to evening, beer. And then go home and write for you a poem. I will tell you, let's go out. Let me give you an experience you've never experienced before. I don't need to put emotions there.
Yeah.
You're already experiencing that with what you've never experienced, right? Right? How do I know this? It's not new. It's not new. Nothing that Gen Z are showing us is new, and there's nothing wrong with that. You will live your experience, and you'll grow out of the experience.
But I think, is it fair to say it's okay to go through this process now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's generally, I feel like the crowd received it as if there's a particular way we're supposed to conduct ourselves as Gen Z. You expect us to be at your level, yet we are at ours.
Actually, Tim, I have an answer for her. I think I know why this thing of Gen Z is such a big thing. I think we also had this issue with the guys who came before us. I don't know what they're called. The Zoomers or what? I don't know what they're called.
Boomers or something.
Those guys were
Gen X.
Gen X.
Yeah, they were boomers.
Gen X. The reason is we do not have social media the way we do.
Also, the difference was boomers were not... Now, if you want to talk about a chasm in generations, boomers were not trying to help. They were not trying to help. It is why, when we go to the workplace, the same way guys celebrate you guys and say this is the new generation fully immersed in social media, we were the new generation fully immersed in the internet. They even used to call us .com. But you get to the workplace and the boomer, back then they were, as an intern. I'll get in as an intern. It's a boomer who's now working a job as he works his way into management. He'll come and see me as a threat. And maybe that is something that, as Zola is pointing out, that's something that might have been conveyed through that. A lot of millennials, perhaps, because they see you guys as a threat, they treat you as such. But it's not new.
Okay.
No, but
It's not new. And boomers refuse to help.
Leave alone that
As
one,
guys
Tim.
are having... Let me land. As guys are actually saying, there's nothing wrong with what you're doing, but avoid the same pitfalls that
you
took.
guys go.
Right?
Yeah.
For example, single motherhood. Avoid. I tell guys all the time, in fact, I tell guys, if you're going to date, don't date until you're 30. Don't be serious about dating until you're 30. Sleep around. Right? And conversely, I'll tell women, don't sleep around. Right?
So what are you saying?
Chim,
This...
Before you go somewhere else, one thing that you have to realize is social media has also made it's called you guys
Gen Z.
very loud. So it's very easy to hear their voices. We did not have that type of voice. So it was easy to ignore us. That's why we can see your stuff and we talk about it. So you have a bigger, in essence, mouthpiece. As we could be ignored, you cannot be ignored.
Basically, what you're trying to mean is how you see Generation Alpha growing up. There's these crazy things that small children are right now doing.
LGBTQ. I mean LGTV.
Actually, not that one. Let's go to the incidents that have been at Sarit, where you're seeing.
No, those are Gen Zs.
Wait, what was happening? Sorry, I'm out of touch.
It was a while back.
Two people were doing adult content inside the bathroom and they were caught. Yeah.
I think I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Oh man.
Yeah, those are Gen Z.
And again,
Yeah, those are Gen Z, not Gen
no,
Alpha.
bro, that is
Gen
nothing
Alpha, yeah.
new. But like you said, we didn't have the proliferation. We had social media. Facebook was in its
Infancy, but not like
but
this.
Yeah.
we had more sense than to put ourselves shagging online. We had more sense than to bust it open on OnlyFriends and say, I'm hustling. You're not hustling. You're not hustling. You're a hoe. Like you're a hoe. You get?
Yeah.
So it's nothing new.
In fact, even let's go to the next topic because we are really veering. It's okay.
Can I just? I'm sorry, I know I'm trying a lot today. One last thing. I tell women don't sleep around. I tell men sleep around as much as you can. Why? Because fundamentally, from what I said, women are born with their value, right? Maintain that value. If you're a high value woman, you will not have slept around with 25 people, because then that tells me you have bad impulse control and poor decision making. If you are a man, conversely, you have to build your value for you to even get any play. Bums are not getting play. Right?
Can I tell you something?
Sure.
Like I understand where you're going at with this, but like no, it is like scientifically it has never been researched and found that if you sleep around with multiple partners as a man,
it has.
I have like
we've discussed this.
Like
it has.
I know. Okay.
The studies are there.
Yes, I know, but you're not even listening.
Sorry.
Cool.
Because technically, I know whatever it is you search for, you will find. So I had this guy online, scientist. I have forgotten his name. I could have quoted his name, but I have forgotten.
Cool.
He said, like, the rate of detachment, like, if you have multiple sexual partners, it affects the attachment rate for both men and women. There is no society in the
That is very
world
true.
that sexual promiscuity has improved the state of the society.
Agreed.
Both for men and women.
Agreed.
Okay, and another thing, today morning, I interestingly watched a video that claimed femininity needs to be protected, masculinity needs to be earned. And I pretty much agree. And it is the responsibility...
You're literally saying what I'm saying.
And it's the responsibility of a man or of masculine energy to protect feminine energy. And
No,
this...
it's earned.
Yes.
Everything in this world is earned.
It is earned. What do you mean
You're not
earned?
entitled to my protection simply for
If
being.
if you're a father and you have a daughter...
That's different. It is
That
earned
is-
through
no,
blood.
I
That
am
is
not
my
talking
blood.
about relationships.
Okay, let clarify. Yeah.
I'm not talking about relationships as in romantic relationship. I'm talking about the structure of the society. In the traditional society, in the traditional structure of the society, femininity was able to be maintained because men were able to protect and secure the feminine energy back then. Yes.
Oh my God. Do you have any idea of just how violent this past that you're idolizing was? It was so violent that one of the tenets of the Roman Empire was rapere, grape. Literally, one of the tenets, a man's right was to take what he has earned. We call it what? Spoils of war. The difference is this: modern men are the ones who have made society so safe that you can say, for example, as a woman, you will walk around alone. That didn't used to be the case.
In multiple
you
societies.
need
Like, I have searched in...
You would need a chaperone.
No, in Chinese society, in African society, I understand there was physical
Zola, do you
abuse.
want to... How do you think the
And
Bukusu...
we're talking about...
How do the Bukusu get their wives?
Was it instinct or was it...
No, they are not. How do the Bukusu get their wives? They grab them at the river. Sorry, continue.
We're talking about feminine value. A woman who was promiscuous wasn't treated the same as a woman who wasn't.
Your wife is not promiscuous. She's a girl who has gone through initiation. She goes to the river to get water. Yes,
And
we
this
romanticize
structure-
and say it was planned, but the genesis of it, you cannot
and
tell
this,
me the genesis of it was
You're not
planned.
getting the point. These structures were laid out by men. A promiscuous woman had no place in the society because this was her value.
That is true.
False?
That is true.
Yes. So when I mean masculinity needs to protect femininity, is the whole culture of sleeping around. It does not add value to the society. And as much as we want to defend it in order to like confirmatory bias. Yes, we're defending it for confirmatory bias. I don't think if it is
We're not
beneficial.
defending it for confirmatory bias because there's no penalty for a man not being a virgin when he gets married. But there was a penalty for a woman getting married when she's not a virgin.
Actually, let me help Becca here. I agree with you. As we age, we realize that having multiple sexual partners is not the best thing for both sexes. I can agree with that. But the punishment for both sexes is very different. That is why the double standards apply, because men are not looking at women for
Bro, even
money.
just biologically, the
penalties.
The penalties are not the same. Like I said, Mother Nature is very sexist.
But like we shouldn't
Continue,
say that
Zola.
men should cheat or like
Listen,
multiple
even
Hold on,
partners
I'll get
or,
there. I'll
like,
get there.
be
Just
Even,
finish.
promiscuous.
let me
I'll
say
address
this. is my brother. This is something now because I'm a Christian.
Okay.
It's something I've changed my mind about. As in, I'll not advise people to sleep around. Men sleep around, even women sleep around. I understand from the worldly view why you will do that. You have to have that experience because unfortunately, our modern women want a man who's experienced.
It's not more than
Unfortunately.
women, it's women.
Yes.
Period.
They want people who are experienced,
I'm a
unfortunately.
woman. Who?
Actually, many of them.
So, okay, now let
But
me
like,
let me
what do you mean
explain.
experience?
Let me say this. First of all, I do not condone cheating because I believe right from the onset, you as a guy, when you meet a shori, first of all, you don't introduce the conversation of what are we. She does. She earns the title of exclusivity. When she does, if you feel that you are going to be a polygamist, tell her there and then so that she can make up her mind and leave.
Yeah.
I do not condone the base podcast. Not about cheating, right? We don't condone cheating. What I tell men, however, is to sleep around, and it's not an oxymoron. Once I explain why, because what does it entail for a man to be able to sleep around? He has to have gotten everything else aligned. His money is right, his looks are right, he smells the part. Everything has to be aligned, right? So the idea is the bait. It's almost like a bait and switch. The bait is what? Sleep around. But for you to be able to say, I sleep around a lot, you have to have everything else aligned, right? Yes. So like I was saying, when you talk about, like, for example, for you, that day when you decide you're going out, everything has to be right. You know you have money in your pocket. You know you smell good. You know you look good, right? Unapitia di kinyozi and all, right? And even then, you're not assured you'll get laid that night.
Yeah.
Sindio, you get it. But when you get into a relationship, the shorty has, like, the shorty is on to broach that conversation of what are we. And if you decide that she's earned, like, exclusivity, yeah, then you'll tell her, yo, but then for me, I'm a polygamist. And you give her that chance to say, you know what, I'm not interested. If you're truly that guy, she won't bounce. Because she knows you are just that guy, right? On the flip side, what does it take for a woman to get laid? You wake up in the morning, you go to the shop. How many guys have hollered at you? Literally, even you're like, yo, I haven't even brushed my teeth. Like, I feel a film in my mouth. I haven't even brushed my teeth. I'm just going to get bread. And 10 guys have hollered at you.
Why are you saying it as if it's a flex?
It is. Beauty is a flex. Beauty is its own currency.
Beauty is a flex.
It is, yes.
But like,
period.
no.
Period.
Listen, like, it's first of all, is that line of thought going to build a society to become a better place?
I'm getting there. But we agree beauty is a flex. It is. It's a currency.
For both men and women.
For men, not so. Unless you're gay, not so
No?
much. Not so much.
Are you beautiful?
Not so much.
Not so much.
Men are success objects. Women are sex
Chima,
objects.
unless you're a top 10 as a man.
Yes, unless you're top 10. Even studies show dating apps. Women categorize 80% of the men on dating apps as there. Not even meh. Hold on. How does that help society? It helps society when men have to be driven to achieve in order to get what they want.
But you all just stand at the corner where it's dim lit and you take these crazy pictures. That's a dating app. Like, you don't even put time.
No, we're not discussing the dating app. You ask me how does it benefit men? It benefits men because men have to achieve. So that drive is taken away from I'm going to kill Manu to get what he has. If that drive is taken towards I have to achieve to get similar results to what Manu has.
How will that build a society?
I've just told you how. If you're driven to achieve, if I know society, I need to drive a beamer to get the babe, I'll do everything I need to do to earn the beamer to get the babe. Society is pushed forward.
What he's saying, what if all men decided to use beauty privilege? How will the society be looking like? I know I can get married, I can get wives by how I look.
Society isn't structures alone. Societies also include family setup, and family is really important.
But families are
and
structures.
we need to have morals, we need to have boundaries, we need to, like, promote family ethics and have some rules that will contain us and uphold. If a child is raised in a good, complete family, this child has more chances of getting successful.
You're actually pretty
in terms
based.
of
That is very based, I agree.
Yeah, in terms of mental, physical. That is why I'm not pro.
Men need experience.
For what?
Men need experience.
Explain to me because
even when you talk to a babe will tell you, that mwanaume akona experience anajua hizi vitu.
Okay, let me give it simple for her. All the advice I said, but remove the part about polygamy and sleeping around. You still want the best woman available.
okay.
The peak of the litter.
Sour.
Simple
Yeah.
as that.
How do you get to the pick of the litter? If you are the best of the best, and then you get to choose.
If
Separate the
you're,
chaff
if
from the
you're,
wheat.
if you're loyal, if you're hardworking, if you're respectful, if
Can I shock you?
Women don't care about
those
loyalty.
characteristics are not seen that
Women
much.
don't care
The
about
first thing we
loyalty.
see is success. What?
Women are
Yes.
willing to date a man who lives in a house with his wife.
I see my mom, I see my grandma, I see my aunties, I see my sisters, I see my friends. What women
Kwani
are
hao
doing?
machiponga
no,
machiponga
no,
kwa
no.
klabu ni machokorani.
Mnaenda kutafuta bibi kwa club.
No.
Sawa.
Si bibi ameachwa nyumbani. That's why nimesema nini? When you say women want loyalty. No, they don't.
We do.
No. Dema najua dema. Kwani sponsor ni nini? Kwani watu that sponsor the sponsor was just a senior bachelor.
Like wait, what is the number one cause of divorce?
It's money.
Money.
It's finance.
Infidelity.
No, it's
Finances.
finances. It's
Google,
finances.
Google, we can bet on
You
that.
can do it right now. It's
Google
finances.
Infidelity.
It's not infidelity.
Infidelity.
It's finances.
Okay, check it.
There's a reason why Diamond can always have different mamas.
No.
And
no,
all the
no,
mamas
no.
are
Divorce.
No.
Mbona Zari alimuacha? Why did she break up with Diamond?
Because of
Well,
multiple.
yeah, shit.
Yeah.
Infidelity.
Research why you sure. It's finances.
Just check. Fact check. It is infidelity. That is the number one cause of divorce.
What?
If women are okay with cheating, why? First of all, women are the number one. They're the leading in terms of instigating divorces.
How you see Nami have hit a paywall.
What it's saying as in infidelity.
What is the number one cause of divorce?
No, but most people choose a no-fault divorce. That's what I'm reading. I'm on Forbes. A total of 308,000 divorces occurred in 2021. Approximately half of all first marriages end in divorce, with subsequent marriages failing at higher rates. Most people choose a no-fault divorce, citing irreconcilable differences.
Actually, Tim, there's an easy way. Okay, let's say it's infidelity. But before even you get to knowing a man is loyal, his whole thing has to be on point. His finances have to be okay. He has to be doing well physically. As in, before he gets, like for women, before a woman actually hits my eye and I look at her character, her beauty is a starting point. For women, majority of women, that's why we're saying statistics and all that, the starting point is not your character. It's first of all, is this man, that's what normally say in female dating profiles, financially stable? It's a very big thing. You'll not know someone is loyal unless you spend time with them.
Can I? Okay.
No, I'm just saying as in, for us, we're looking at the starting point.
Okay.
Then you find out these other things on the back end. The front end is those things.
Before you continue, I just wanted to point it out that most of the time, as girls, our first love wasn't someone who was financially stable in most cases. This one comes on later on.
Actually, and
Puppy love.
you do know why.
Yeah,
It
because
has a
that is
name,
what
puppy
we
love.
wanted. Then
You're
we
still
got
innocent.
disappointed.
You're still innocent. You've
Yeah.
not yet been.
So men
exposed
destroy
to the
this
world.
innocence.
No.
Who destroys it?
What?
Who destroys it?
Listen.
Who destroys it?
When you had your puppy love, it was
Yeah.
with a boy who was probably in the same class as you,
Yeah.
or a few years older than you, right? When do men get their first real experience of love? Well, it's usually with a slightly younger shorty, right? Which means by the time a girl is in high school, even mademu semanga nini, when she's in high school anasema mimi nataka mse akokole, si ndio? And then akiingia kole anasema nini? Nataka working class. There's even a song, I think by size 8, working class. Si ndio? How is it then that you blame the men?
Cause skia, point yangu ni hivi. I was innocent. I found a guy. This guy, things didn't work out. I got on to the next. And kuna face, there's this window period when my standards inaendelea kupanda. So by the time I'm getting to that point where like, fuck this shit. If I'm going to be with a guy, at least it's going to be worth something. He should come with money, because why is he going to break my heart for free?
That's
what you were saying.
what I was saying.
Yeah,
That is
but
what I'm
Also,
saying.
let me just address.
Yes, but it is a process. Somebody didn't just wake up one morning and say, fuck this shit, I want money from the get-go.
But do you know if you
Someone
got there?
broke this girl's heart.
Do you know if you
and
get
that
there?
is what I'm saying.
You know, if you can there, love cannot keep your.
You know that there are more,
as in, it cannot feed you.
also, you know that there are more instances of women breaking men's hearts to the point where there's a study that showed, is it 30% of all men have not had interactions like ZX with a woman, or even relationship interaction. And there's a study that also showed that women tend to go for the same type of men. So women are choosing, it's called Bryfolt's Law. Women choose where a family shall exist, because women are the ones who select. Yes, the guy will hit on you when he sees the beauty, but there are like 10 guys hitting on you. So it's a woman that says of the 10 guys, then they are Manu. Sindio? So when women do that and they all choose the same guy, you end up having the same experience with guys who all cheated on you, and then you bring back your baggage yote
On all men.
to all the men. That is why you get to a point where young men are bitter.
I'm up kwa baggage. Like, my point exactly, let's just circle back and go back. My point is, I am not pro men sleeping around, because we all know sex is tagged to emotions for women. The more you sleep around with women, the more they get attached to you. You think about yourself, yet there are these women who you're breaking. These women you keep on saying you are broken. If you sleep with multiple women, you're going to leave multiple
That's
women
a conversation
broken.
for another day. And the reason I'm saying this, that's a conversation for another day, is that's a very good topic that you've broached. But you do know, even traditionally, there were the women who men would all go to for that experience. It was not all women like happens today. Today you'll have women on IG penye mama yake anamfuata, dem ana post bikini. You're just showing sexual availability, sexual availability. Unaona? Back then, exactly. There was that, you know that term, slut.
Men don't love
It existed
the
for
inner
us.
gem. They love what they saw.
Exactly.
And
Unaona?
that's what you presented to me.
Yeah. Lakini there were those women who men would all go to.
Take charge, condemn such women, and stop sleeping around.
Yeah.
If you want to, let's.
Listen, I think what you're conflating is men and women have different sexual strategy and sexual targeting different outcomes, right? For a man, it's to sow his oats wide and wild as he can.
Okay.
For a woman, it's to get the best possible man, right? What society did is it tamed women's hypergamy and tamed men's lust. Basically, the penchant to just sleep around, right? It tamed it where we said, now it's only really acceptable for you to have one, right? And at the end of the day, as a man, you choose what works for you. I happen to have said, after a lot of experimentals, like, I'm polygamous now. I'm monogamous now, right? So when I say I'm monogamous now, then I can say that is what works for me.
Okay.
But there are different guys who will say, and I have nothing wrong with the brother that says, bro, 12 years a slave, mzee nimesukuma kazi, finally niko na ido. Sikuwa na options nikiwa uni, ati sahi nijifunge. Aye.
Actually, the thing is this: you give out people.
You go, brother.
You give people the formula. Now you make your decision afterwards. What suits you best? Simple as that. And you also explain the possible, whatever's for each. But now let's move on to this thing of Gen Z. You have talked about other things. So it's very simple. First question will be: can relationship with Gen Z and millennials work? May I believe they can? What do you think?
I do believe they can.
So.
Manu, unajua Manu mnamuuliza unapia Manu adate millennial.
I'll say no. I'm gonna disagree on that. I'm gonna disagree on that. First things first, the level of thinking is different. The level of thinking is different. The level of what they're doing in life is different. Millennial right now is focused on the career. Gen Z right now is focused on fun life hapo kwanza career. So these two people, it's just basically how Gen Z's relationship work when you're idle. Hi. Now you're dating, basically you're dating someone who's working. You send a text in the morning, he's like, I'm off to work. The other time you talk to him is maybe evening or he'll sleep. The other day, then the lady is like, oh, he does not give me time. So I'll say no because of so much priorities in life.
MC, acha, let me just bust your bubble. Demu wako bado ako Gen Alpha.
Gen Alpha.
You just wait for her first amalize shule, apige 18 kwanza vizuri, akishamaliza, that's where you get your babe. You know why? Kuna kitu we've discussed earlier over here. What did I say? A shorty will be in primary, she wants to flex with a guy who's in Seko. She'll be in Seko, she'll say I want a guy who's in Kole. Unaona? So where age mate wako sahi akutambui, yana angalia nani zola.
But that the question, is it marriage? Is it relationship?
Actually, that's marriage. Actually,
Both.
That's the best
Both.
order for marriage.
Fun times and marriage. You need to be able to have fun with your wife.
Personally, like, why I would disagree with your point is because you keep on pinpointing the differences. I was thinking about this whole podcast, and like, I think your point, like the differences between Gen Z and millennial, like, we are all different. You need to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
So, okay, if you're in a relationship with a Gen Z, that does not necessarily mean that you're same.
Yeah.
You can literally be a Gen Z and you're dating your fellow Gen Z and you're like, this person is dumb as fuck.
But also it brings the question, okay, kuna ile yenye you trying to like say this guy we're not getting in similar terms.
Similar terms how?
Just because of maybe his way of thinking.
No one will ever teach you how to be married technically.
Bro,
how
that's
to
gonna
manage
be
yourself.
a reality
Uh-huh.
that dawned on me when I stopped being a chaotic fuckboy. I used to be a F nigga. When I stopped being one of your roles as a man in a relationship, when they say you serve two purposes, provide, protect. Women and feminists came up with ujinga mingi as we profess. Hizo ujinga zote is just women being verbose. They are encompassed by provide and protect. You provide for her safe space. See, Cindy, you provide for her the security of being able to stand and say, I am this guy's wife, knowing that he will not shame you. See, that's provision. I've provided something else. It's under the bracket of provision. Cindy, and that is what now a dame will tell you, profess. One of the things you provide is leadership. So, me, my wife is Gen Z, by the way. Now, the way things go is, yes, she has a lot to teach me, but I also provide leadership. In the sense that, ukisema ati, venye mi niko job, because me, I do biashara. Ukisema mi niko biz, stamwongelesha. Bro, my job is not to be there to handhold her. I'm not her girlfriend. I'm not her girlfriend. Akona mabeshte yake ataenda those times when I'm busy, I'm grinding, ataenda ongeleshe mabeshte yake. Unaona? What I'll do is I'll guide her, I'll tell her, hey, this friend of yours, apana. This one will give you poison for it. This one is just poison for a relationship. This one seems like she has her head screwed on right. Hiyo hivyo. You're getting? Sasa wewe unataka kupatia dem miaka yako direction with the experience that you have. In fact, she has more experience than you. Ameshinda kikatiwa tangu agonge 15.
By far.
And because we live in the reality of we have a world of scummy niggas, bum niggas. Aliwana katiwa na makanga kiwa 15 makanga anataka kuigonga kiwa 15. Kweli rongo. You have experienced it. So you ulianza kukatia ukiwa 18. Unakatia that girl in your sister school, unafikiria umefika. My friend. Hakuna experience uko nayo unamwambia kitu.
So basically inalingana that question ya walimu walikuwa wanatuambia like when you in primary with these girls that you wako bado hajazaliwa. Okay.
And it sounds crazy. I have a 10-year gap between myself and my wife, right? Sounds really, really crazy. But when you actually think about it, I had to earn the right to lead. And that meant failing. I have a whole closet of failures. Failure. Unaona? For me to get to the point where I can actually say with my chest, I provide leadership, right?
Yeah.
And knowing as a man, leadership is not being a tyrant. Kuna vitu hatuwezi negotiate. Unaona, mi usema hivi, I say this on the podcast all the time. There are times I'll tell my babe, Izao, you're not going to dress like this. She'll kubali. Because she knows at the end of the day, say, I know, hata kwa hapa you can ask her. She knows if things were ever to go left, kweli rongo, you know I'm going to kufa. To try and keep you safe. Sindio? That responsibility to keep her safe, to protect, comes with a certain level of authority. You are still nurtured at that level, comes your Gen Z. Now to me, blows my mind. Mafala Gen Z ushinda akifikiria they are there, that they understand.
Actually, let's even add something else. It's not only Gen Z. No, even when I was that age, my early 20s, I was also dumb. He was also dumb. So the thing is, this thing of experience actually comes with age. Managing a chick who is in early 20s and your 20s is very hard. So
unless you're Mimi, but
no, focus on your book na hustle. Kwanza umenibambo liniambia you're actually grinding. Gen Z, one thing I've noticed, I'll say, the women seem to be more, I'm seeing more and more, maybe it's because of what I see on social media, the algorithm, that women are promoted more, but they seem to be more on their grind than men.
They are.
Unaona?
True.
So, when you reality say, ukienda home jipige kifosele, by the way, I'm doing something. Unaona? I'm doing something. Do you want to ukiangalia, me when I was reading the comments on Anetwa Kesoti, her page, I was reading the comments, I'm like, these are men talking. This is a 23-year-old who is talking about this person is fat. That's a 23-year-old man. I mean, I was shocked. So I don't have I don't have static with the shorties. The shorties are the shorties. For me, what blows my mind is the men.
The men,
And my concern
that's
is
true.
how do we help the men get to a point where they become men? And for me, that's important. Boomers hawakutusaidia.
That's true.
Hawakutusaidia.
Actually, it's Gen Y. You said what Gen Y?
Gen X.
Gen X. So like guys.
Hawakutusaidia. I worked with guys, this guy can tell you, they saw me as a threat. I was a very horrible human being. But you could have helped direct me. They saw me as a threat. Their solution was, we are just fagia hii jamaa. Unaona? So mimi nikiona mseka wewe, who is in the next generation, don't make the same mistakes mimi nilifanya. Vuka hizo mistakes, actually, it will accelerate your process of making something of yourself. Unaona? Ndio pia my daughter akiwa chuo akimaliza, when you start dating her, I'm not doubting who you are as a man.
Oh yeah.
Unaona? There.
Question is, are Gen Z sensitive or are they in touch? Number one. Number two, we can combine it with, why do Gen Z feel millennials are bitter?
That one is a very interesting part to touch on.
Yeah.
I was talking to my friend because I told her I'm coming here, and like we were talking about how different generation in a generational traumas. Generational traumas, and that's a very interesting topic because you find that generational traumas are very different. For you guys, haezi kwa semna Gen Z, you understand? So if you're raised with fear, the way you will react for the rest of your life isn't same as somebody who was deprived love. You understand? So according to whatever the feedback she gave me, I don't know, I agreed with her point. Millennials are not pro mental health in terms of like therapy and stuff like that.
Okay. Go
In
on.
terms of therapy,
Okay.
upon daily put her focus.
Okay.
Gen Z, we're taking an initiative. We understand that we have mental health problems and we're trying to work, and we will do anything to protect our mental health. Unanipata?
Because tunaona ina affect so much in our lives.
Yeah, it determines a lot. So if we do not protect it, we're just going to it's going to become a loop. Makosa yenye ilikuwa the previous generation are going to carry it and trickle it down to our children, and it's going to be a repeated cycle.
So is protecting yourself from criticism protecting your mental health?
Criticism how?
The one we did before.
Kwamba ukweli.
So acha nikwambie, criticism, so many people are weak. You're like, I wouldn't tusongeleo. But if I do not like something about you, I will come and say like, excuse me, so like sipendi A, B, and C and D. It's different when I come and tell you like, sasa ona, look at that. You see, kuna kudunga kidonda, and then there's like you're trying to.
So you guys are not resilient.
Resilient how? We are not like nobody. Mbona mnataka kunormalize?
Hakuna mtu anakuja kushike mkono unless they care about
No,
you.
like,
and in this world,
also,
no one cares about you.
Technically, you do not have to suffer to make it in life.
You do.
Who said?
Yo, you do.
Who
God
said?
will give you, there's a quote I really love.
my God.
God will give you everything you ask for, but at a cost. And that cost is labor. Labor is never ati kujipodoa, kujipaka mafuta, except for Gen Z who've actually found a hack. Makeup tutorials are a hack. I won't lie. That's a hack. But most guys have to labor. It comes with suffering. It comes with heartbreak. It comes with scars. It comes with betrayal.
It's sacrifice in essence.
It's sacrifice.
Unajua, like for me, my personal view, I do not term hard work as suffering. I don't put it like that.
Do you think everyone that you'll interact on your journey as you labor to create something for yourself is on your team?
They are shitty people, and that is the point.
That's my point. So you have to be resilient.
Yeah, I do
there are
have
more
to be. Listen,
assholes in the world than good people.
we are promoting assholes instead of promoting good people. It's like blaming.
That's actually how the world is.
No, that is how we want it. That is how what we have
Most
normalized.
successful people in the world are psychopaths, by the way.
Because we have normalized it.
No, that's
Yeah,
how
we
it's always
have.
been.
Ndio maana nakwambia, see, I'm literally trying to tell you, you can be good to someone can be good to you. If, for example, you have an opportunity, sindio, and like, mimi hapa I'm struggling, and it will cost you nothing to share that opportunity with me, knowing very well I qualify for that opportunity. What is stopping you? Because it has to benefit you. So you have like a selfish vendetta.
My G, I built Mpasho from the ground up with backing from... Actually, I'll give him his credit. He's a visionary. So, he came through with the funding, created the opportunity. I built Mpasho from the ground up. I lost Mpasho. for two reasons. Number one, I was still too immature to maintain and protect what I had. I was not the best of human beings at the time. But the biggest reason, the chief reason, is because people are not good. Someone will see your success and want what you have. There are human beings, especially when you get in the corporate world, there are human beings who only know how to manage. Even if it's to manage something into the ground, that's all they know. They don't create. And they see creators as a threat. Okay?
Basically,
That is something that happened to me and I learned. And guess what? I cried for a year. I had to pick myself back up, and you're seeing what we are building, right? My point is, no one owes you anything. You need to be resilient enough to say, and this is now where I'll say millennials fail to pass something on to Gen Z.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're meant to have three places, okay? The place you rest at, the place you work at, and a third place that is for you to go and either relieve stress or gain some sort of inspiration for life. If that means walking in the wild, go and do that. For me, it is the gym. Right? Pick heavy weight, put down heavy weight, make head noise, go shh. Okay? Sawa. That is something Gen Z need to do. And believe it or not, studies have shown physical activity is the number one cure or the best defense and cure for depression, by the way. Once you have those three things, you're good. And about your point about millennials are jolly about their issues. Kitu moja nasema, it started with millennials caring. People like Adele ndio alikuwa anashinda champion mental health. Lakini I won't push too much back on that. Si ndio generation tulianza kwanza hiyo kayumbetia kulewa. That was our release, and that is a problem. Wase walieka place number 3 yao ilikuwa nini? Bar. So mse atoke home akona issues na dem, aende ofisi apigwe na job. Third place ni wapi? Bar. That's a problem.
Actually, Manu, now give out your take. Gen Z too touchy? Are we millennials bitter?
I'll say we are sensitive in the sense that we are getting information. Now we are having to understand issues. I'll side with him as he said. Here there's jealousy running between us. We understand as Gen Z. There's some jealousy pia tuko nayo.
Between millennials and Gen Z.
Yes, but also between
But even between even ourselves.
Okay.
That I'll find an opportunity, I'll deny you because I don't want you to be successful more than me.
Okay.
It's facing
sijaiona first hand.
I've heard even millennials having that conversation.
Okay.
It's true. Like, ati najua I have a guy who can do this, but if I give you, you'll be rich. I'll be poor. Now, on to my side, we are sensitive because we have information. As she said, we are focusing on mental health because now we've understood that there are signs that can show you're depressed, vitukaizo. You're not bitter. I'll say you're just trying to understand Gen Z. That's basically it. They're just raising their opinions, and that's why we are here. To be like, okay, we can say this is a fact, this is not a fact, this is fiction. Things like that. So yeah.
Let me answer this one. We'll ask the final question. It will be a double question. I think you guys are very touchy, but I also think some millennials actually are very bitter.
Yeah.
And not also very bitter, but bitter. I think some things have come easy for Gen Z. Like that thing of making money.
Our dreams were beaten out of us by the guys who currently will say are in management position in corporate. So when you see, like you're saying, things seem to have come easier for you guys.
Okay, makes sense.
Because you say actually also mnaelewa hii kitu, you know how to take the reins na mkaifanya on your own. Si tuliona we need the backing of others. Unaona?
And the thing is, that thing of the touchiness, the biggest problem I have with it is just because some of us are bitter does not mean it might not be right. You guys care about more how it's said more than what the message is, which is very unfortunate. Sometimes I may be right, even though I'm saying it badly. What I will ask is, look at what the person is saying. Does it have any whatever in it? Is there a message that actually you can take from it and ignore that it's been said? I'm not saying as in you cannot say things better. I'm not saying that. But I think both of them can be true. We are saying that something that is true, but you may be saying it badly. But does that invalidate what you've said? Now let's go to the final question because it's a two-parted question in terms of, can millennials teach Gen Z anything and vice versa? Can Gen Z teach millennials anything? I'll start with Manu, then I'll go to you.
Okay.
So can Gen Z teach millennials anything?
Yes.
I'll shift it first too. I love how millennials think about life.
Okay.
I'll say they think about life critically. Gen Z, we always sometimes we do irrational decisions, then they lead us into trouble, and we're like, oh shit, I never saw it coming. So how they think about life. For Gen Zs, for millennials, learning from Gen Zs is how to speak up, because you said in your workplace when the Gen Zs are now said a few things about how the atmosphere was. Now there were reforms, but most of the time millennials were like, unaingia huku unafinyiliwa, you're like, sasa sina plan B, tabidi tu nimekufa naye. So I'll say that.
Good point. Yes, so you know.
Okay, when it comes to learning, first of all, you've said a point of how you address something, how you say something. Before I often address an issue, personally, when I see it's a sensitive issue, I try to think as much as I can before I say it. Because there's a place I read, no one learns in survival mode. When you're in that state that you feel like you are under attack, there's nothing you come out with. And the point, the issue, like the point is to make that person understand. It is not just to say because I can. You see? So technically, one thing I like about Gen Z is they are very open-minded. They are open to new information, open to new experiences. And this could be because, this one actually my boyfriend told me, because I was wondering why the more you grow older, the less open-minded you become. And this is because when you are younger, you have a wide room to make mistakes and learn from them. When you grow older, the chances reduce. So the more your
responsibilities add.
Yeah, so the more you grow older, you become a little bit more defensive and more to protect your space and to secure yourself. So I feel like Gen Z can actually learn a lot from millennials. I have gone to, I work in events, my part-time job. And I look at Gen Z's events and millennials events. Millennials events are well organized.
Yeah.
I love it. And I love that space. They're cool, calm, collected. There's no stress. You're not scared about burglary. Like it's I can't explain it. Gen Z, on the other hand, they are partying as if they are literally going to die tomorrow. And that scares me personally. I don't know whether it's my personality because I'm scared of crowds. So when I go to such a place, I feel like I'm always on edge. You see, but also we have, at our age, we have been exposed to a lot of information. And like, I think that a thing millennials can learn from Gen Z is how to think when it comes to dealing with someone our age. Because I understand most millennials are going to be parents someday. And they're going to get their children to this age.
Millennials?
Yes.
Millennials wazee washapata watoto. That's why they are bitter. Ni tumama tuzee bwana. Ni tuzee.
Like point yangu ni, the thing they can learn from Gen Z is to try and understand how we think, how like from our perspective, so as to know how to address. Because your story, communication, you do not attack. Because when you attack someone, they will not listen. They will not learn. And the idea is to create human beings who are of the perfect stature and standard in terms of mental, physical, and all possible ways. Yeah, that's my take.
I like what you said. Let me say something, then Chim will close. Both your points are very valid. I enjoy them. In fact, my mom is one of those people who is about how do I speak to someone. She's more about the how do I speak, your tone more than what you say. Even when we argue, at times if I raise my voice, it becomes about me raising my voice. Everything else goes out the window. So I do agree with you. Now the challenge is finding that sweet spot where you actually want this people to actually understand what you're saying, because I believe both our generations can learn from each other. Gen Z are go-getters like crazy. And I think the internet has really opened doors for them to do things without structures.
Needing godfathers. You guys can bypass the gatekeeper.
Yes. And you make money without...
Like look at Director Sid. He has a beautiful...
And he's doing his own thing.
There are no gatekeepers.
Yeah. For us, we had to go through structures. And I think those structures really they have affected us in terms of... I think belief structures are not bad. They are good. But structures can also be modified, which Gen Z want. But I think the way they're doing it is a bit messed up. You don't come and try and modify structures. They want us to advise you in a well-mannered way. Also, come to people who are millennials and also talk to them kindly. Don't come and say like these people are foolish.
Okay.
We have done something this way for a very long time. Just because of a better way, don't come and
Yeah.
Nyinyi watu ni
Kwanza,
wajinga.
for me, it was wild seeing guys making fun of Lily's weight, calling her fat. The mamas on TikTok, and I was like, you do realize you'll probably be here in the next few years, given the way you guys don't take care of yourselves.
Yes.
You'll be here in a year or two. So like that was one thing I was like,
You don't
be
see
kind.
you don't see the irony.
You'll
in
be
this.
here. Yeah, there's a lot of irony. You'll be here.
Yeah, because you're talking a lot and you're telling us we're talking badly. I'll just ask for this. Just finally, we can learn from each other. I think the best thing is this dialogue has started. I don't think it was being hard. Millennials were talking among themselves. Gen Z were talking among themselves. But now we're actually trying to meet
Okay.
halfway.
Absolutely true.
And I think the thing I've learned from this conversation is the way you talk to us. I think the message can be taken,
Yeah.
but the way you talk to us, now that is a place where we have to get better.
Wait, what you learn from millennials for you, don't be a single mother. What you learn from millennials for you, grind, take care of yourself. The problem with millennial men, most of them, my age, bruh, if I told you my age, you wouldn't believe it. I'm 36. Because I take care of myself. Yeah? Grind, take care of yourself. Same thing goes with you. What we can learn from Gen Z, I really love the go-getter spirit that was literally beaten out of us. It was punished out of us. And that's something that millennials really do need to reclaim. Yeah. Kitu ingine, what I like about Gen Z, spring chicken. Madem bado ni ma spring chicken. Yeah. So with that said, subscribe, like and share. Asante sana for joining us for this conversation.